What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're going to be showcasing some of the best builds that you should build to defeat the upcoming 7-star Rock Terra Infernape for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We're going to go over physical attackers, special attackers, and supporters that you can use for either some solo play or online play. And of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel and joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. So we have Terra Rock Infernape, and we know is going to have his hidden ability Iron Fist, which gives punching moves an additional 20% damage, which I do think the Infernape will be getting some Iron Fist moves in its moveset. It just makes thematic sense. Now, looking at the stats of the Infernape, it has really high physical attack and special attack and really fast speed. So it's going to hit us hard. It's going to outspeed us. It's definitely going to be problematic. The good news is it's pretty frail on the defenses. There's 71 on both defenses and then 76 HP. So this is going to be a Pokemon that's sort of a glass cannon, but we're going to have to survive the brunt. And the thing about Infernape is it has an incredible moveset, great, typing as a fire and fighting Pokemon, but Rock also adds an additional amount of good stab moves like Stone Edge, but it has 5 weaknesses that we can exploit as well. So this is definitely going to be a fight to the death here, but it's going to be a rather quick one in my opinion, but it's still going to be a pretty hard raid fight in general. Now, looking at the physical move side for the rock type move, is either going to have Stone Edge or Rock Slide. Now, Stone Edge has a high crit chance, which is definitely very scary, but Rock Slide has that flinch chance. And both of them are going to be hard to deal with. Stone Edge does have a 20% chance of missing, so if we do want to lower the accuracy of the Infernape, that's definitely going to be a wonderful option to dodge any of the Terra boosted rock type moves. Now, fire moves. It could have Flare Blitz, which is going to be like the best fire type move it can know, or it could have Fire Punch, which is normally just a 75 damage move, but it does get boosted by Iron Fist by 20%, and Fire Punch doesn't give it any sort of recoil damage. So Fire Punch might be the better option for the theme of this raid, but Flare Blitz, I wouldn't be surprised to see either or on this. Now for our fighting type move, Drain Punch will give it back some HP, and it does get an Iron Fist boost, and this is really deadly. So I would be really afraid to see Drain Punch with Iron Fist on it, but of course it could also have close combat. I wouldn't even say like or just or. It could probably have both Drain Punch and close combat. Close combat being like a one-time move it does during the raid. It's going to hit very hard, and it will lower its defenses, but it could do that on turn 0 and then like remove its negative status effects. That's a possibility. And then for coverage, Thunder Punch for the water types, because water is the one thing that can definitely beat this thing. Resist the fire. You beat the rock defenses there. Acrobatics to beat the fighting types. And same with Zen Headbutt to also beat the fighting types. Now, how does it beat ground types? Well, looking at the special side of things, Grass Knot is definitely a good option, especially if you bring like a Mud Boy, like a Swampert or a Gastrodon. You are very good against everything else, but if it does have a grass type move like Grass Knot, that's a problem. It also could do like Sunny Day Solar Beam, but I don't really think I was going to go down that route. I do think it could have Overheat or something like Flamethrower and use it like maybe at a special time during the raid. Now for setup moves, there's a lot of good ones, but the main ones are Swords Dance for that +2 physical, Bulk Up for +1/+1 on attack and defense, but it also has a Nasty Plot if it decides to be a little bit more special oriented, which would be interesting, but I do think it's going to be more physical just because it doesn't have any special rock type moves. And Focus Energy with Stone Edge would be incredibly terrifying. Those guaranteed critical hits from the Infernape would be really problematic. So we really hope not to see Focus Energy, but I could totally see like a Bulk Up or a Swords Dance happening as the most likely cause in this Infernape raid. Maybe Taunt, but we'll just have to wait and see. Our best builds for the Body Presser. So Body Press is a phenomenal move. It allows you to use your defensive stat to deal damage, and Body Press is a fighting type move, so it's going to be able to do super effective damage against a Terra Rock Infernape, and the fact that Infernape should most likely be a physical attacker because it is a Terra Rock means we'll have a great physical defense stat to take the damage and also deal some big damage back. So the first Pokemon's Archeodon, Steel Dragon with the Terra Fighting and Shell Bell. Steel typing is nice here because we do resist the rock. Now, what's cool about Archeodon is we have the ability Stamina. Whenever we get hit by any move, our physical defense stat goes up by 1. So just by getting hit, we're going to be getting stat ups, which is going to be really nice. And we're going to go max HP, max defense, and I have a impish nature on mine, so plus defense minus special attack. And the ideal move set for this is you're going to have Iron Defense to set up your defenses, so you want to hit that +6 as quickly as possible. By the end of turn 2, because you got hit twice, you should be at +6 defense. And then you have a +6 defense, body press, and then you're going to keep on hitting the body press and doing as much damage as possible. Now you have another option with Breaking Swipe. This will do damage, also charge up your Terra Orb, and it will lower the physical attack stat of the Infernape, which could be really useful. And we also have Focus Energy as an option to give us a 50% chance of critting on the field. So Archidon's a pretty decent option. If you don't have Archidon, Como-O with a Terra Fighting is another great option. What's cool about Como-O is you're naturally a fighting type, so you're going to be getting Stab and Terra boosted super effective body press, which is really neat. And your typing still allows you to resist the rock type damage, but you can also resist fire. So Como-O does have a big advantage over Archidon in that regard. And you have Shell Bell, max HP with max defense, have an impish nature again. Your ability doesn't really matter. I just put on bulletproof just in case. And very similar stuff. Iron Defense, body press, Breaking Swipe to lower the physical attack. And this time we're going to have Taunt on here. Taunt allows us to prevent any sort of setup happening. So if the Infernape has Swords Dance or Bulk Up, we can do this immediately on turn 1 to prevent it from trying to set up on us and do too much damage. The next body presser is going to be Hisui and Gujar with the Terra Fighting and the Shell Bell. Now, the difference between this and the Archidon is the ability. Now, our ability prevents us getting hit by critical hits, and if the Infernape does run a Focus Energy build, Focus Energy Stone Edge will always crit, so this will prevent us from getting crit at all. So this is more of a safety strat. But we do have a lot of nice bulk, max HP, max defense. We have a bold nature on this one. And it's going to be very similar. So Shelter is just Iron Defense, Body Press. Chilling Water will lower the physical attack and also be super effective damage, which is pretty nice. And then we have Life Dew for team support, so you can use this on an online build. Next up for body pressers is Dashbun. Dashbun with the Terra Fighting and the Shell Bell. Now, we have the ability Wear Well-Baked Body, so whenever we get hit by a Fire-type move, we get +2 defense. Now, Dashbun is only going to work if the Infernape actually hits us with Fire-type moves. If it spams Rock-type moves against us, that's not going to be that great. But we are immune to fire, but the AI won't know that immediately. And we do resist fighting, so it's usually going to either hit us with a Fire-type move or a Rock-type move. And we're going to be running that max HP, max defense with a bold nature. Very simple for us. We want to use Charm to lower the attack harshly of the Infernape. Do that at the beginning to give us a survivability. You can also go for Tail Whip to lower the defense stat. And then once you are set up, you could go for maybe 1 or 2 body Mud Slaps, and you should be good to go. Get that accuracy drops, and then spam Body Press and try to win from there. But overall, all these Body Press Pokemon are going to be pretty decent. I would recommend having some of them around in general because we always end up going back to these. Now for the pure physical attackers, an Annihilate is going to be actually really swell in this raid with a Terra Fighting and Metronome. So Ghost is great because you're going to be immune to fighting. Fighting type is great because you resist rock, so you only have to worry about fire for the most part. And we have the item Metronome with max HP, max attack, adamant nature. Your ability doesn't really matter here. Max HP just because if it does have overheat or any sort of special attacking moves, you'll be ready to take those, but you could also go max defense and max attack if you would like. Very simple. Drain Punch is going to be our main move. Is how Stab super effective. Then going to be Terra boosted. It's going to give us back that HP. He's going to get Metronome boosted. We can also go for Taunt on turn 1 just to prevent the Infernape from setting up. And then we have Bulk Up to set ourselves up with more attack and more defense. And then we have Focus Energy to give us a 50% crit rate as long as we're on the field, which is very nice. Another great option is Swampert. Swampert with the Water Ground, so you're going to be resisting rock and you're going to resist fire. And then Terra Ground with the Shell Bell for recovery. Max attack, max defense, adamant nature is probably what you most likely need in this, just because your defense isn't the best and you have pretty decent HP. And of course, any of the special moves are most likely going to be fire. If you does see like a Grass Knot, then Swampert's probably not going to be the answer here. But if it doesn't have Grass Knot or Solar Beam, then it should be pretty decent. So what we're going to go for is, set up with some Chilling Waters to lower that physical attack, Bulk Up to set up our physical attacks, physical defense. We have Earthquake for the big damage, and we have Mud Slap. They'll also fill up our Terra, but also will lower the accuracy, which is going to be really convenient for us in general. Now, Malamar could actually potentially work here depending on if the Infernape has a setup move, let's say it has Swords Dance or Bulk Up on its regular move slot and it can just do it whenever, Malamar is going to be the de facto counter for this raid with the Terra Fighting and the Shell Bell. So if it does have that, let's say it does have something like a Swords Dance, you immediately go for the skill swap on turn 1, and then you're going to have, the Infernape's going to have Contrary, so it's going to lower his attack, or maybe his attack and defense, depending on what it does. And then at that point, you're just going to spam Terra Blast until you die and get your Contrary back. And then once you die, you're just going to spam Superpower, get your attack boost, defense boost, and Terra Fighting. And then once you're out of superpowers, just go for a Terra Fighting, Terra Blast, and you should be good to go. Very simple. I go for max attack, max defense in this case, but you can also go for max attack, max HP, max attack, max special defense. Just really depends what the Infernape will be running at the end of the day. And Iron Hands, I'm just going to say Iron Hands has potential. Would not recommend for a solo at all, but potentially for an online build with Metronome, Terra Fighting, max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature, Iron Defense, Swords Dance, Focus Energy, and Drain Punch. You know, this is a pretty solid moveset. Probably can't fit in something like a Belly Drum, but Iron Hands will do Iron Hands thing. For special attacker, I actually only recommend one, and that's going to be Appleton with the Grass and Dragon. Now, Appleton's really good because your signature move is going to be Apple Acid, and Apple Acid lowers the target special defense whenever you hit it, and it does damage, so you're going to build up your Terra Charge, Shell Bell Recovery, and lower that special defense, and it's going to be Stab super effective, and then Terra boosted with the Terra Grass. Now, it has the ability Thick Fat, so even though you are a Grass and Dragon type, which would make fire neutral, with Thick Fat is actually a resisted hit. So that's going to be really nice. And yeah, I mean, fighting and rock are going to be neutral to you. But, you know, we have pretty good defenses, and we're going to go max special attack, modest nature, with a max defensive stat. And we're going to be setting up iron defenses as well to further boost our physical defensive stat. And then spam Apple Acid. We also have Light Screen just in case there is like a strong special attacking move. And then once the Apple Acids have all landed, you can go for an Energy Ball and do a little bit more damage than the Apple Acid once you've got all the drops that you need. And lastly, the supporters. Now, the supporters are a little bit tricky, but I do think Clodsire is going to be really nice. The Poison Ground's excellent typing here because you are going to resist fighting and you resist rock, and you're going to have the item Shell Bell. Now, I'm running max HP, max defense with a bold nature. You could run the ability Unaware, but I do think it's nice to have the Chilling Water attack drops being noticed and the Mud Slap accuracy drops being noticed. But you could put Unaware on here, but just know that your team will see the minus attacks and minus accuracies, but you won't see them. So it just depends how you want to run it. But Chilling Water is great, you know, super effective, lower the physical attack. Mud Slap, super effective, lowers the accuracy. Acid Spray will be resisted, but it does lower the special defense by 2. So you can land a couple Acid Sprays here and there, help out any special attackers you may see. And then you can go for Stab, super effective Earth Powers, which is great. You could go Terra Stellar or Terra Ground to keep your typing. I think Terra Ground would actually be the way to go with Clodsire. Next up is Quillfish. I'm going regular Quillfish here because the water poison typing is great. You know, resist fighting and you resist fire, so that's pretty solid. And Shell Bell. You have Intimidate, so you start the raid with -1 attack on the Infernape, which is going to be pretty swell. Max HP, max defense with a bold nature. You're just going to be mostly spamming Chilling Water to lower that physical attack of the Infernape. You have Acid Spray to help any special attackers out. You have Acupressure, so you can help boost one of your allies' stat randomly by +2. Hopefully it's a good one like special attack, physical attack, or physical defense. And then you also have Taunt to prevent any sort of setup. So Quillfish does have a lot of decent bulk, and then Intimidate is going to be very clutch. The last supporter is going to be Gastrodon, which you could also run as a regular attacker if you want. But Water Ground's great typing here with the Terra Ground and the Shell Bell. You know, this is the one I normally use as a actual attacker, but if you want to build this as more supportive, max HP with max defense, bold nature is ideal. And Chilling Water support, just lower that physical attack. Mud Slap, lower that accuracy. And then you can start spamming Earth Power to do a little bit of damage. So this is like more like an offensive support. And you do have Recover to get some HP back. You also do learn Acid Armor. So if you want to get +2 physical defense, you can with Acid Armor. But there you have it, guys. Those are all the builds I recommend for this raid. A lot of great ones. I do think the body pressers are going to really show up. But definitely do not sleep on Annihilate, Swampert, Malamar, and Appleton. I think these 4 are going to be really special in their own different ways, and just depending how this raid goes, I do think one of these is going to be one of the best. But I think the body pressers are all very valid too. But anyways, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more builds coming to the channel. We're going to have best solo builds in particular, one-hit KO, and more. Anyways, peace out and have a good one.